This is an interview for Peep-magazine. We are here with fine art students from Northumbria Uni.
Yes.
Can I just take your name, please?
Yeah, Lilly Kappa.
And we are at the Baltic for contemporary art, the Baltic down on the quayside, actually gateside. And I thought I would come down and start and hope that I could chat with some of the artists for the final degree show. And I've been privileged enough to corner 2 artists, so and then I want to have a chat about the work. So if we go over to yours first, could we maybe talk through the work, please? Brilliant. So we're just going to have a little stroll through the Baltic now, and then we're going to go to the first piece of work that I've kind of caught my eye. So could you kind of, I'm going to take some shots, but could you kind of talk us through this one?
Yeah, so it's this tent that I've made. It's sort of like a totem of like the wire monkey and cloth monkey experiments. It's based on the cloth monkey. So I've made 100 sock monkeys, and they're all sort of spilling out of the tent and coming out of like little organza pockets that I've sewn on the sides. It's all sat on like turf. It's meant to be like outside but artificial version of the outside. And yeah, I've like sewed it all, and it's sitting on like a pair of ladders. It's sort of about how comfort is sort of valued over things like food and shelter, and what makes us human is our need for comfort and our longing for comfort and to feel comfortable and to belong somewhere. So that sort of ties into the tent idea.
Wow, that's so cool. It's got like a mystic feel about it, you know, with the head at the top.
Yeah, I think like I was sort of inspired by the big like building in Midsummer, so it's meant to sort of feel like something that just is purpose built for, you know, art. This wouldn't really exist outside of the realm of art. So yeah, it's not really got a purpose or anything, but it's just meant to represent something.
Does fine art have to have a purpose, or does they say design has to have a purpose, but does fine art have to have a purpose?
I don't think it does, but I think when you take people into exhibition spaces and you're showing them your work, the first thing they usually ask is, so what's it about?
Yeah.
So do you want to like talk through it? Like, what was your inspiration?
Kind of what I've asked.
Yeah, I think, you know, and that's fine. Like, that's just our, you know, we're all very curious people and we want to be clued in, you know. And I think our like exhibition spaces are the best places to sort of do that and clue people in on your point of view and what you want to say and what you want to say as an artist and as a person.
Can I ask how your experience has been at Northumbria Uni? Were you there for 3 years?
I joined in second year, so I transferred from Newcastle College to Northumbria. But yeah, it's been brilliant. I mean, the facilities have been really good, and I feel like everyone on the course and my like close friends, we're all like, you know, we're in it together, and everyone just supports each other. And all of our practices are so different, but it's nice that we can all come together in like the same space and see how like much our work complements each other and sort of, you know, bounces off each other. If that makes sense.
Is this work, your work, connected to you in some way, or are you detached from the work?
I think I'm very connected to it. I think I've gravitated towards textiles because my mum is a seamstress. So my like earliest memories are like of her sitting at a sewing machine, and she'd make costumes for like my school plays and things, or she'd alter my clothes, or she'd make like little outfits for my dolls and things. So yeah, I think in my like previous art education, I was always like doing painting or doing like clay, and I think textiles is sort of underappreciated because it's quite feminized and it's quite kitschy, and a lot of people associate it with craft as opposed to fine art. So I think everything that I make that is textiles related is also sort of saying that this textiles can be fine art and it can be appreciated on the same level as painting and other, you know, typical fine art mediums.
Yeah, of course. I'm looking at the dress. Did your mum do the dress?
No, she didn't. This is from Lazy Earth. I got it at a sample sale.
Oh, fair enough.
I wish she did. She sewed the, she tied the bows on it for me before I left the house. She was like, your bows are all wonky. She redid them for me. So she had some input. Yeah.
Cool. Is this, have you just got the one piece of work, or is there more pieces of work from yourself?
We have like this exhibition, and then we have an exhibition in the university. So it's on the 4th floor of Squires. So we all have our like own spaces there. I've got another installation which is also like fabric based. Because I couldn't have the monkeys in 2 places, I made like Polaroids of them. So they're sort of displayed in that context in the university.
Are you in some way confronting something when you prepare your work, or conceptualize your work? Are you in some way maybe confronting something that you maybe can't openly talk about? Or
no, I think maybe my original idea for the monkeys was I put like a little stone in them, and I was gonna have my like friends throw them at me and be like, oh, my friend's throwing rocks at me, and that was gonna be like a film piece,
a bit of performance.
Yeah, sort of. And like the idea behind that is that I sort of like sometimes worry that even like the people that are closest to me sort of resent me, which is, a lot of the time that's like irrational thinking. So I don't know, I guess I'm trying to work through that. I mean, art is very like cathartic, so I think whether or not you're like aware of it, when you're making things, you're like working through that and working through your own sort of internal struggles and conflicts.
Do you find yourself answering some kind of hypothetical question when you're creating your work?
Maybe like larger questions like, what is the meaning of life? I don't really, I think it's like very human to want to create things and get your point of view across. I never really ask myself too many questions when I'm like making things, and I think the question kind of comes when I've arrived at the answer. So I like made this, and then I sort of thought about like, what am I trying to say with like my work, and like what is the idea behind it? And I didn't really know that until it was made. So yeah, I don't set out with a question, but maybe sort of questions happen along the way, sort of.
Yeah, of course. You're coming up with things as you're doing it, then you think, oh, yeah, that's how I'm going to confront this situation or handle this situation. Or do you sometimes think about things that conversations that came up in the past when you're doing work, and then you kind of answering questions as you're doing your work? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think totally. I mean, as I'm like making things, especially with textiles, because in the past, in like my previous like education systems, I'd be in like crits and people would be like, oh yeah, like you're really kitschy, like you really like kitsch and you like crafts. I'm like, yeah, well I do, but that doesn't like, that's not like a box that I have to be in. And I guess I'm trying to like convey that craft work and textiles work is meaningful, sort of at large. That's sort of what my message is. If I had to like choose one right now, it would probably be that.
Do you believe working with your hands frees your mind?
Oh, totally. I mean, it gets to a point. I mean, I think once I got to like monkey number like 23, I was like, bloody hell. I can't wait for this to be over. But then I got to the end and I was like, oh, this is great. And, it's all worth it. And the back pain and, I got a massage this morning. And I think it's nice to get all of that out of your system. But it does sort of take a toll on you emotionally, I think, to overwork yourself. But like back to that like cathartic thing, I think it's definitely like, we've all got like ideas within ourselves, and to express them like with your body and with your hands is sort of the most effective way to get them out there, more than like talking, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So this is your show today at the Baltic. You've graduated now from Northumbria?
Yeah, our graduation ceremony is June 15th, July 5th? It's July 15th. But like, as far as work goes, as far as like physical work goes, this is it. This is like the big hurrah at the end, the big celebration. So yeah, we're basically done, aren't we? Yeah.
And what's your, without putting you on the spot, but what's your plan now, moving out of university and into the big wide world? Is it a bit scary, or have you got plans?
It's very scary. I mean, I just like work in a retail job at the moment, so at least I have that. But yeah, I'm sort of toying with, if I want to do like a master's or if I want to become an art educator. Because in my mind I was like, oh, I'd like to become an art lecturer because I think I'm very good at like problem solving, which is what I sort of look for in like good lecturers, to like come to them with problems and be given solutions or different ways of like doing things. So I'd like to help people in that way. But you know, maybe I'll be a train driver or something. I've always thought about that. It's pretty good money. Yeah.
Well, you could work with monkeys.
I could work with monkeys. I think, you know, zoology is one of those jobs that I think I wanted as like a child. So maybe I'll go back to working with monkeys, or I'll just work with the sock monkeys. They're probably a little bit easier to work with than real ones. So.
Hi, thanks for your time. I wish you all the best of luck with your work as well in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the interview. I really enjoyed that.
Thanks a lot.